Welcome back to the Pit Pass Podcast. I am your host, Mark Askelson, alongside co-host Kalvin Kesselberg. After another kind of long overdue bit without a session or without a podcast, but we've been busy doing other stuff. But Kalvin, how's it been going?
It's been a year of years. The black cloud has followed us, and it's been busy. Life's been busy, but we've kind of kept feeding it a little bit with the vlog stuff. You know, we've had the Pit Pass on the road.
Yeah.
A couple episodes of that. So that's kind of a cool thing that you came up with and just started doing.
Yeah. So for those that haven't caught those yet, it's, out of just kind of wanting to maybe fill the void, we did that one tech tip the one time, and like the video thing went really well. And so like that got a ton of views. And so I'm like, we should do more video stuff. And I kind of have a little bit of experience, but also didn't want to go too crazy. So I'm like, well, let's go to the track and follow along. Usually when I'm pitting with you, I'm like the third man in. Like, so I'm not like the guy that if I don't have to be always turning wrenches or something. So It's like I have a little bit of more time. There's more experienced guys like that are kind of doing that. So I can step away for a second and take a video or something. And it's turned out pretty well. Yeah. I think I've got good feedback, and the hope when I started the Pit Pass at the Track series was it's just kind of the same thing that we do with our podcast, to give people a little behind the scenes of what it's like in the pits, what we're working on, what the problems we're encountering kind of throughout the night, and
how much work it actually is.
Yeah,
contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a lot of work. And like I said, usually I'm like a third man in. So it's like I'm not working as hard. However, the last trip...
You got to in Fergus.
In Fergus, you put me to the binders, and I love it. Like, because it was basically me and you and, pretty much nonstop. It was hard to get a lot of content because, always had to be doing something.
We were thrashing, like, from the moment we got in.
Yeah, and I love that shit. Like, I love high pressure, like, tight timeline stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff I thrive for.
Yeah.
I think there was a couple times you were like, hey, I'm sorry if I'm barking orders at you. I'm like, no, bark away, man. Let's do it. Like the adrenaline's going. Like
that is definitely not my strong suit, like by any means. Like I am not good at hey, you do this and I'll do this, or you do that, you do that, you do that. Like especially, I don't know, like you see it sometimes where like the driver, just because they paid their pit guys way in, they expect them to do everything. Like, go get me a cheeseburger, fill it up with fuel, go get me fuel, go get me this, go do that, put tear-offs on my helmet. Like, I'm not at all that person. But, having help at the racetrack is huge. Yeah.
Well, when you're with me, you kind of do have to bark orders because I still don't know everything that needs to be done, especially with the late model. The stock cars, I'm kind of getting the gist of it. And when I'm first man up, like, okay, then I'm checking tire pressures, I'm doing this. Usually I take off tires and other things too, but like, so, okay, what tire pressure do you need? Like, I don't know those things, right? Like, so trying to figure those out, and then going from the stock car to the late model, they're kind of two different beasts, and like, so there's some different things there that you have to do, but starting to get a little bit in the habit with the stock car of kind of knowing what needs to be done and everything else.
We're definitely like in our trailer, we are absolutely like creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Like my mom's comes to Fargo now, or she's kind of been hanging out in the pits. So she has her own little routine. Haley has hers. Like my dad and Ashton, they have theirs. You're starting to find your stride with us.
Yep.
And I have like a set routine that, like if it doesn't happen, I am like all sorts of screwed up.
Yep.
I mean, everything down to like the way that I tie my shoes. Like it's always like I'm superstitious too.
But that's me when I'm announcing.
Yeah.
I show up at the track roughly the same time. I go do the same things every time. I go up to the booth at the same time, and if I'm 5 minutes late, I feel out of place.
It throws off the whole night.
And I eat the same thing, and I talk to the same people. And so it's the reason I do that, like. It's not because I can't have things happen a certain way. It's just because if I'm prepared and doing things the way I'm supposed to do, if something goes wrong, I know I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm prepared. I'm always ahead of time or ahead of schedule. So if I get thrown off or something comes up, I still got time. It's time to kill. I still, like, I'm prepared. Like, everything's set up. I'm good. I can afford to do that if shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
So, like, and so
It's amazing how close like both of our schedules are at a racetrack.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the amount of work that goes into everything, not just the race car, but all the behind the scenes stuff too.
Yep.
You know, just having an announcer, and that is important at a racetrack. Like, could you imagine going to like a baseball game and you didn't have an announcer? Or like a hockey game or something? Like, you need it. Like, that is a needed 100% has to be there structure of a racetrack. Like, you need an announcer.
Yeah, and honestly, you probably could be an app that where like you can have it announced. You could use AI to plug in an announcer and figure it. Like, honestly, you probably could, but like I shouldn't say that because now I'm gonna be out of job. But
don't listen.
They don't pay me that much anyways. So I'd be cheaper than AI still. But like the announcer is so much a part of the environment.
Yes.
Right? Like you expect to hear them and fill time and other things, and so it's like,
well, and the personal touch of it, you know, like if there's a birthday in the audience or someone like they come up and like tell you like, hey, can you wish so and so a happy birthday? Like just little personal touches like that, I think is why a racetrack is as good of a family environment as it is.
It honestly, AI announcer would never have come up with a Strandwich. When Jason Strand and Dustin Strand were three-eyed with the car in the middle. That was my favorite pun from last week. When the late models, I
missed that one.
I'm glad
you brought it up now.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun coming up with that one, Strandwich. I forget who, I think it was Corbett or something that was in the middle, but I'm like...
They are unrelated, so would it be like a sandwich with like rye and wheat toast, or like white and wheat toast?
Yeah,
maybe?
probably.
Yeah, it'd be like a mixed bag.
Although Strand does own Dustin's car now, so I mean, they're like, you know...
But still unrelated.
Yeah,
that one still threw me out. For the longest time,
everyone thinks they are because they are good friends. They race together. Now Jason owns Dustin's car. Like so you would think that, but no relation.
Huh?
Kind of two different personalities too.
Definitely.
Yep. So back to the pit pass at the track. So we've done a handful of those. I even did one with me as the announcer to kind of follow along, and I left some things out for future episodes to kind of like. Also, it's really hard to like get to capture everything because you're just busy up there, and so it's. But I kind of left some things out just to kind of leave more for if I do another one, which I think I might do with the Outlaws coming up. That was just kind of neat, and that got a lot of good feedback on that, and so that was just kind of fun to. It's weird videoing yourself versus you. It's much easier to video you.
And I'm not. I have a face for radio.
And also, we've had to edit out some of your stuff too.
Like, oh yeah. Yeah, we do have some bloopers there. Like, if they ever do get played, it'd have to be like over a.
You have to be done
audio.
And you'd have to be done racing before.
Retired.
Oh my, yeah.
A lot of F-bombs.
So for reference, the one I read over Valley Speedway, where I think it was the one where. It was the one where you got thrashed, or we had the sheet metal one.
Yeah,
there was a part when you came into the pits after the feature. You see you throw the steering wheel. And there was about 20 seconds of audio after that we could not use.
Yeah, not safe for weak audiences.
No, it's pretty funny though.
It's and it's nothing against a racetrack or anyone like that. It's nothing like that. I'm very passionate, and
as you should be. When you get out of that car, like you're always interested when you get out of the car. There's a lot of stuff that comes out of someone's mouth when they get out of that car.
Yes.
Depending on how the night went.
Yes. So. It's the culmination of all the work that, like, not only that I have in it, which I don't care. Like, my time, like, obviously time's precious, but, like, I race. Like, that is what I do. I don't fish. I don't go hunting. I don't do nothing. I race. I don't go to the lake. Like, that is my passion. That is what I do. That is my hobby. That is what I spend every spare second of my day thinking about. Mm-hmm. So I'm very passionate about it, and I hold it to a very high standard.
Yep.
I think dirt track racing kind of gets a nasty, kind of, I don't know, what would the word be? Like, when people think of it, they think of a bunch of dumb rednecks.
Yeah.
But they don't realize how much technology is involved and physics and math and all that stuff. I mean, there's so much that goes into it that makes it so sophisticated on so many levels. And I hold it to a really high standard. And I expect that, and that's maybe wrong of me, but I expect that standard to be held by racetracks.
Yep.
Workers,
by
other racers.
Tracks officials, announcers.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes. We're not professionals. We're weekly racers at the end of the day. But It is. It should be a professional show. I mean,
Yep.
it should be the way that you carry yourself in public, off the racetrack, on the racetrack, whatever. It should all reflect you. And in my opinion, it does. Like, I think when people think of me or talk about me or whatever, racing is tied to it somehow.
Yep.
And that's why I hold it to such a high level, because I expect a lot out of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's my downfall, but I expect that out of others as well.
Yeah.
It's my crew. It's, other racers that I race with. I mean, I want us all to be on a edge, on a high level.
Yeah.
But
Well, in the same sense, I wouldn't want to pit for a guy that doesn't really give a crap.
right.
That's
yeah.
like, whatever, it's
And
fine.
how could you cheer for someone like that
Yeah.
too? I mean, it's everything. I mean, it's tied in so many ways, and and I could never go to a baseball game or anything like that, where the announcer's sitting up in the booth drinking and just making fun of people. I couldn't do
Yep.
that. Like, I could never get behind that. So I think it's very important that we all, we do it. This is our passion. This is our hobby. I think everyone should take it to the highest level that they can themselves,
Absolutely.
on every aspect.
So on the subject of highest level, let's talk about how the season's gone so far, because it kind of I think for you, kind of a slow start to the season, or I don't think it was as bad, like in retrospect when you look back at things, but some things didn't go the way they wanted
Yeah.
those first couple weeks.
And
like,
it's tough, like, especially coming off last year. Like, last year was the best
yeah.
year that we've ever had. Like, winning, the Red River Valley Speedway opener, the Norman County Raceway opener,
track
and then-
championship in Fargo.
Yes, and like in our first couple weeks of Mandan were really well. So I had just expectations, and I kind of knew going into it, because I did not get the chance to put the time in like I know that I should have in the winter. So that kind of built on some of the pressure as well, because I was, you're already second guessing yourself. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, in hindsight, like, we've had a really good year so far.
Yep.
I mean, we've had some bad luck. We've had the lowest of low nights, from an electrical fire to, thrashing on a Sunday, and we go to Buffalo River Speedway and we pick up the win.
Yep.
I mean, that's racing, man. Like, that's why we love it. It's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And
I think the one night that I thought was a little fun, and didn't end up that fun, like, even though I think you still ended up like fifth, and you were battling at one point in the feature, for a second, and I think that was the night you were up to third, and I think you could have had second, but you moved up just to try something different, not be a sheep, right?
Got freight train.
And then it backfired. There was nothing off that bottom end. But earlier in the night, got hit by a driver, just got loose, and just didn't look like he hardly caught you at all. Tore a sheet
Just
metal
the
off
right
the right
angle.
side, right? And stuff happens. Nothing was broken on the car structurally, right? But like, we had to thrash sheet metal. Like, and that was kind of fun, like, in retrospect.
Yeah.
Not at the time.
No.
But we had to work our butts off. And like, you even had who was the other lady there with your mom? Was that like an aunt
So
or?
that was, I guess you could call her my aunt. So, like, I always referred to her as like my second mom growing up,
Okay.
right? So they used to live right across the street.
Okay.
And like, her daughter and I are still like best friends. Like, we're and like, she was always the older sister that I never had.
Okay.
Yep. So Shauna is her name. Britt was is Shauna's mom. She's like my second mom.
Okay.
So she was there, and they were just sitting in lawn chairs, and we come up and we start ripping panels off. I'm like, hey, Britt, you want a job? Like, here you go. Start straightening sheet metal. Like, we need all the help we can get here.
100%. She was right in there. She was screwing rivets, everything else. Like, that was just awesome.
And there's another moment, I guess, like, if you will, where like the racing family really comes together. I mean, we had Tony Brockhouse over helping us, Andrew Jokum. Like, I race against him. Him and I are competitors, but off the track, we help each other so much to make sure that both of us are successful.
Yep.
Andrew too. Like, I've always said, whatever cliche or whatever, he's like the older brother I never had.
Yep.
And so, I really have a ton of respect for him, and just him coming over, and his crew guys were over, and they were helping us pound stuff straight and all that, and rivet stuff back together, and just shows, how much we all come together, and on the track we can be competitors, we want to win.
Yeah.
But we don't want to win because someone didn't make it out.
Yeah.
We're all going to do whatever we can to make sure that everybody races.
And had you got around that second place car, I think you could have got to Andrew that night.
I think Andrew and I could have had a good race.
You could have. You that night when it was like one lane on the bottom, that was kind of like asphalt short track, like Bowman Gray.
Yeah,
you had to move them out of the way.
Yeah,
I know you move one guy, and I know you feel bad about it afterwards.
And that is not like my style at all, but
it's what you had to do. You don't want to wreck anyone, but you got to bump and run a little bit. You just have to get them off the bottom a little bit, or just find a way to get underneath them. And
when I try, if that ever does happen, I definitely try not to get them on entry. It's definitely like so if you're in that situation, what some people do is they will just throw it in the bottom and think that they're going to slide them.
Yep.
And it ain't going to happen, right? But then, other people you'll see, they'll just shoot them in the shorts, either right on corner entry and spin them around or whatever. Yep. The correct way, the gentleman way to move someone out of the way would be just ride their bumper down the straightaway and kind of give them a good shot before entry. Let them have a good corner, but you give them a shot going down the straightaway, and just hopefully it gives them enough speed to kind of miss their mark.
Yep.
They don't spin out, they don't get wrecked, nobody wrecks anything, but just gives them a little persuasion to maybe miss their mark a little bit, and then you can get around them.
You just got to get a little bit underneath them there in that turn, or even if you can just kind of get out, if you can get out of the corner a little bit better and get underneath them on the straightaway, then the next lap, is all you really got to do. Yeah. So.
And it's definitely bit me in the butt before, but I, like on one lane racetracks like that, I'll get right next to them on the straightaway and line it up for the tires. You can make me eat a tire, or you can just get out of the way. This is up to you. If you wanna drive me dirty and be a bitch about it, put me in the tire.
You're not afraid to hit a tire. There's one thing about you.
That's been the thing this year.
Yep.
But I maybe trust them too much, but and if it happens to me, I get out of the way, know when someone's faster than you.
Yep.
So yeah, I kind of just put it in their court. If you want to be a bitch and make me eat a tire because you're slow, be a bitch. But but if you have the respect that I do, you're gonna get out of the way and just realize maybe it ain't my night. We're not going forward. This guy's obviously had enough speed to pull up next to me. But so yeah, if you're gonna make someone eat a tire, you're a bitch. But anyway,
there's a T-shirt in there somewhere. All right. So then the next week, and I don't even remember how you did Nate the next. I don't even remember because
it was Kingpin next week.
Kingpin the next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a barn burner.
Yeah.
You lost your voice.
Yeah. So
that was a radio call
That was the one you almost won, right? Yes. Almost won. Okay.
Every racer ever, one more lap.
Yeah. That was okay. Now I remember that one. It was you and Johnny Carter, right?
Yep.
You were sitting in fifth.
I had no business being in second.
No. Well. Something I could tell even because he had the top four cars are racing hard.
Yeah.
2x2, Schultz and Carter running side by side. Whoever was third and fourth.
Ryan Satter and then Rob Van Mel.
Yep. Side by side. You had a 4-car battle for the lead essentially. Because any one of them could have gotten a good run and got to the lead. And
the whole race. From the green.
The entire race. Stock cars doing stock car things.
Yep.
It was insane. One of the best stock car races there. And then something started clicking for you on the top side. So you were able to drive that car in 3 and 4. Yep. It seemed like you could, 5 car lengths deeper than anyone. And all of a sudden you're catching up. You found something there. What was going on there?
So right before, Riley and I had tried some stuff in the right rear, a different kind of a spring package, load package. And it took me a while to kind of figure, because I was driving it like my old setup, how I used to, and just kind of baby it in, like normal stock car things, drive it in straight, drive it off straight. And so we tried some different stuff, and then it kind of just, I was feeling it out, keeping pace with them, and the 2 cars that ahead of me, they were kind of starting to get into it. So it was all right, just sit back, let this shake out.
Yep.
Let's see where this is going to go. And then I looked up and we had I think we had 5 or 6 laps left. So then it was time to kind of just turned the wick up. So
Yep.
then I just started driving the snot out of it.
And then Schultz, you caught up
He
there.
kind of got
He slid off the
high. Yeah, he
topside,
slid
which
off.
save of the century. He
Yeah.
Tokyo drifted that thing around 2 into the back straightaway.
Yep.
Like that was impressive.
Yep. So it kind of got by them, and then got door to door with the second and third place battle. Made it 3 wide for a little bit.
Yep.
And then the last 3 laps really started kind of reeling them in there. So
So the thing was, what happened though? You had that thing won. Like if that
yeah,
coming to that final set of turns, I'm like, there's no way he doesn't win this thing, and you didn't.
yeah.
Like so, explain to me why you didn't or what you did there. And I think
If I would have had a lap like I had on the white flag lap,
Yep.
I think it would have been different.
But you kind of moved your line down there, anticipating the slider a little bit, right?
Yes. So, and that's one thing. I kind of moved down to block the slider that was never coming.
Yeah.
And Johnny hit a really good corner.
Yeah.
I mean, he had kind of struggled. He could get off of 4, but he couldn't really get in.
Yep.
And he just hit it just perfect, where he was able to get in and get off the corner. Where I was kind of blocking a slider, expecting it.
Yep.
And it never came. And I didn't enter on the traction or wherever.
Yep.
I didn't enter where I should have.
And so had you done that, I think it would have been a photo finish.
It would have been pretty darn close.
It would have been absolutely crazy.
And one thing, and I still give Johnny props. And Johnny and I have had a lot, like season opener in Fargo last year was a barn burner with him. He's one of them guys that you can race right door to door with him. He don't want to tear up his stuff.
Yep.
I don't want to tear up mine. Like, he's going to race you with respect. He wants to beat you, just like I want to beat him. Johnny and I are great friends.
Yep.
But the competitive side comes out, but you want to beat it, legitly. I don't want to ever beat someone because I wrecked them.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a good race. That was a fun one. The listening back to the highlight reel.
Yep.
That was, you had such a good call.
Well, and I thought it was like a bit much, and maybe it is for like the video audience or whatever. Like I'm like,
yeah,
but
for the radio side.
But so that's the thing. So in Ada, they broadcast the radios on the local radio station, and there was, it's still impressing me how many people listen to that. Like, because we don't have a video streaming option, right?
No.
So it's kind of old school. Like listen to your kid's baseball game on the radio, right? Like, so we've been doing that for years. At that radio station that I used to work for, the next day, I heard so many compliments and everything else. I was like, what? I thought it was a bit because but that excitement on the radio was totally there. If you're sitting at home listening to it in your garage, and the announcer's going ape shit, but for good reason. But I was like, as I'm watching this and calling this, I'm still flabbergasted of what I'm seeing, right?
Yeah.
There's you try and find new ways to call and other things because they're still side by side and they're side by side and they're side by side. You're just going nuts because in each lap they do that, your inflection goes up more, and you try not to be one of those way over the top announcers. Which I'd love to do a segment once on the different types of announcers because I love watching different races and
But we have to, if we're going to do that, we have to find audio, and I'm just going to voice it. I won't say anything, but I'm going to do the acting.
Okay.
I'll just be I'll be the chill guy.
Yep.
And then the monotone.
Yep.
And then the step up, and then the step up, and then the absolutely wild.
Yeah. There is so many different types of it. I try to, just as someone who does it, you hear it. I was watching the Outlaw race on Ogilvy, and that announcer, it was the driver from, it's a township here locally. It was a B-mod driver, and he was from whatever town, but it has the same township that we have local, so I have to remember it. But he kept it's the driver from Strand, and it's the driver from, and so from Strand. He kept 7 times in that heat race. He made sure to mention the Fridley, Minnesota driver or whatever it was, and I'm like, oh my, you don't have, I just thought it was funny, the announcer that always
repetitive.
So I'm but I've probably done it too, so I'm not gonna. He was a great announcer, but I just thought it was funny. But yeah, so I thought I was over the top on that call, but it was really cool to hear the compliments. People were on the edge of their seat at home and stuff like that. So That's kind of what I strive to do. I know not everyone in the stands can really even hear me during the races anyway. Some can. Sometimes you can. The stock cars you probably can a little bit because it's not super loud. But that was fun. I did blow my voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It ties in the point of how important an announcer is. You know.
Yeah. But that was fun. So then the next week you back in Fargo, or the next day I think back in Fargo, you had a little electrical issue in the feature.
Yeah. So
and that was after. So you won your heat again. You've been great in your heats, by the way. Like twice this year, you've like won a heat race by like a straightaway or more.
Yeah,
that was another one. So going to the feature, high expectations, and
get pooped on.
Shit goes awry quick.
Yeah. So in true Kesselberg Racing fashion, we hit the tractor tire on the drop of the green.
Yeah.
And didn't just bump it. We monster trucked that thing. Yeah. So. I've been keeping my own business and in business.
Yep.
So I've been, keeping Piatto fed as I've been ripping off the left front of my car every night. Yeah. So we need a driver, so we're taking applications. So anyway, monster truck the tire on the start, and sparks shoot across my dash.
Oh.
I broke something. Sparks are getting in the cockpit somehow. Something's going on. And so anyway, continue racing, whatever. We had a good car.
Yeah. You were like fifth at the time. Like I think it was still early in the race, like trying to find a lane, just trying to find.
Letting her all shake out.
You were trying to get in that high side because I think that was better, and you were kind of.
I was stuck on the bottom.
Stuck on the bottom, and there was a car a little bit slower than you, and you just couldn't get away from them.
Yep. So just kind of going and we're racing and sparks again. I'm like, huh? Like it steers fine. Doesn't feel like something's broken. Anyway. Kept running fine, whatever. We've had some heating issues.
Yep.
And it was running cool, Anyway, so then finally coming down the backstretch, it like blows sparks like all over me. I'm like, what the heck, And then going into turn 3, the car just dies, like dead. I think I was finally getting to the top or to the middle top.
Yeah.
Well, like in that situation, like I can't really shoot up the track because there's someone there. I can't, and I went down to try to get to the infield.
Yep.
And in that situation, like you can't just stop.
Yep.
You got to do something. Like you can't just stop on the racetrack because that's gonna be bad. So I started rolling or trying to get to the bottom, and actually ended up getting hit in the back.
Yep.
Well, in the meantime, my gauges lit on fire, like my switch panel. Jeez. So like I had fire like blowing on my leg. Like rolling under the car, smoke flying everywhere, and I finally get stopped. And once I stopped, it like fizzles and then like blows a fireball all over my leg. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, then the fire went from the switch panel, which is kind of like to my left.
Yep.
A little bit. And it started like going to the right to my gauge panel. Well, like that freaked me out because your gauges, like if you're using mechanical gauges, your fuel pressure gauge has fuel in it. Your oil pressure gauge has oil in it, both of which are flammable.
Did not know that.
Yes. So, like, when the fire started kind of rolling under the dash that way, I really freaked out, and it was on fire, and so I'm jumping out. I'm trying to get out of the car, climbing out, and finally, the fire department like made their way over to me. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on? I'm like, this thing was on fire. Well, and of course, like by that time, but like by the time they actually got over there, like fire's gone.
Yeah.
Like, so I could have had the perfect Ricky Bobby moment.
Yeah.
And like ran across the racetrack in my underwear and like whatever. But I didn't because there's children. But next time they're screwed. So anyway, finally, whatever, get all that. Well, here what had happened is where my switch panel's mounted. And this is something to look, I think everyone should take a good look at this. Mm-hmm. So where my switch panel's mounted, it kind of sits right over like a roll cage bar.
Okay.
It's got room, but it sits right over it. Well, I think when I hit that tire, it flexed the deck enough to where that thing shorted out or arced out on that roll bar and wiped away all the insulation, I guess, on the wire. And so it lit that on fire. And I've never seen it. So it fried it. Thank God my distributor and ignition box were okay. Okay. But it fried all of my wiring from the switch panel to my solenoid, which is like so the normal way, or how I wire a car, is I run wire from the battery to my master disconnect to my solenoid, like my starter solenoid, and then I jump all my power off of that. And so then that way, like, then all your power's there, like whatever. I pull everything from that. And it fried everything all the way to that solenoid. It fried the solenoid. And I've never seen it, but like the power wire, like the main hot wire that comes off that runs to your ignition switch, and then everything else is ran off the top side, blah, blah, blah. That wire was like bare wire the entire way, and the rubber had like melted off and was just hanging off of it. Like it was all bubbled up. And,
Yep.
yeah, so it's kind of a freak deal.
Yep.
And so it's just one thing, like, so what I ended up doing to fix it is I had to put a new switch panel in, because it fried all my switches and my buttons and everything. So I did all that. Well, I wrapped the roll bar in a inner tube. I cut a piece of inner tube.
Yep.
So I wrapped that around, zip tied that onto the roll bar, and then wrapped electrical tape around the switch, like any wire around there. I wrapped it, and then I ran all my hose in like a -10 fuel hose. I just sliced it down the middle.
Yep.
And then put all my fuel hose over the wiring so it can't rub anywhere.
Okay.
So I guess that's one thing. Like, if you have a wire going through a firewall or a cockpit or anything, put a grommet there.
Oh, yeah.
Put a piece of hose, do something. Like, so.
Because if it can rub, it will.
Yes.
It will find a way. Yep.
Has vibration.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Were you nervous, like, after rewiring and other things, like there might be other issues?
Yes.
Like, I mean, how do you kind of diagnose that? Because electrical issues can be such a pain, because maybe you think it's fine initially, and it may come very sporadically later on.
Yep.
You don't know
And it
when
could be completely unrelated, but it just had enough of like a surge or or grounded out or something funky where you fried it, but it still works now, but like down the road you might have some issues.
Yeah.
So far, knock on wood, we've been okay. But yeah, electrical issues, those are like a racer's electrical and fuel.
Yeah.
Racer's worst nightmare. Like, 'cause there's so many little things, and you can check all of it. And then the worst thing you do is you start talking to people.
Yep.
And you talk to 20 people, and they all have 20 things that they did, and then you're trying to do all 20 of them, and none of them work, or So
do you have any tips, like if people are having some sort of electrical issue, to try and like quick fix it?
Dude, the best way to diagnose anything is power in, power out, man.
Okay.
Make sure you got, like, check your batteries. Just start at the source.
Okay.
I keep all my wiring as simple as I possibly can, and I make it all super clean so it's easy to trace. There's no rat's nest.
Okay.
I cut everything. I use good heat shrink crimp connectors.
Yeah,
if you solder it, that's better.
Yep.
But I use the good heat shrink, crimp connectors. But just start at the main source. Like, check your ground to your battery, to your frame, and then make sure your battery's good, and then just walk it all the way from there forward. Everywhere that it goes in, make sure that you have power in, and then double check that you have power out. So if you have a master switch, you put a test light on the inside, right? Like your feed wire, make sure you have power there. Make sure you have power when the switch is on the other side, and make sure you don't have power when the switch is off. Like, just keep it as stupid simple as you can. And that usually will get you to the right. And just do one thing at a time. So many people want to just wholesale everything.
Yep.
If they have an ignition issue, it's a switch panel, it's an ignition box, it is a distributor, it's a coil, it's a starter solenoid. They just do it all.
Yep.
Well, now you don't know what actually fixed it.
Yeah, and you just spent a bunch of money.
Yeah, and some of that stuff, like, an ignition box is good to have for spare.
Yeah.
So when you just wholesale everything, okay, was it the box? Was it the coil? So I'm a one step at a time kind of guy.
Okay. Just take your time, got it right. And you did get it right so far.
Yep.
Because then you went out. You told me you weren't racing on Sunday because you're not going to get it fixed.
I did kind of let you down there.
You did a little bit. I was going to come with you.
Yeah.
And then you go racing on Sunday in Glennon, where you don't normally race a lot in the stock car.
Or have had luck in the past.
Or have had much luck.
Yeah.
And you got a pretty good racing surface and won. So
that whole deal, like, that was kind of cool. So, my dad, like, really wanted to go because he's all about, like, and he's right. Like, especially for the stock cars in our area, like it's a sensitive class. Like
Yep.
we're kind of like on the dangerous verge here of like if we don't get another place to race,
Yep.
you know. And I had, I like that we have I like that Glendon added us a couple times, like
Yep.
5-6 times or whatever. I think that's super awesome.
Close to home and everything
yes,
else.
And it needs to be supported or they're never going to do it again.
Yep.
So, like, I am big on that. I had kind of written off going because, I'm feeling sorry for myself without being a pussy. But I was down. I was just like, I am so burnt out with this because I've done nothing but fix all year long. Like, I need a weekend of not thinking about my race car. Like, I'm going to go golfing, and I suck at golf. So anyway, I'd kind of written it off. Well, then Sunday morning, like my dad calls me, and it's 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, where are you at?" I'm like, "Just woke up. Like I'm still laying in bed talking to him." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get up and brush my teeth and probably go out to the shop here and putz around on it because I knew I had to rewire it." And he's like, "Well, hurry up, get your ass out of bed, like get out here." Me and Chris Westcott are already out here waiting. I'm like, oh, okay, yep. So I hauled out there, and yeah, sure enough, man, like we all thrashed, and Ashton ended up showing up, and we worked and worked and worked, and finally it was about 3 o'clock, and we got loaded up, and and even once we got it fixed, it was like, okay, well now we're good for Ada. And Dad's like, no, let's go race Glendon tonight. And Chris is kind of the one that called it. He's like, we're gonna go win this thing. Like, let's just go win it. Let's just quit screwing around.
Yep.
We're just going to go win it. So it was kind of a thrash and, like, got there. And, yeah, I forgot to mention it to you.
Yeah.
Like,
I did have other things going on, but I could have left. I was hoping for an excuse to leave and come to the races. But it's all right. Glad to see you got the win and things are back. And it seems like the stock cars
finally got one off her back.
Got one off your back. And I'm trying to remember. Well, you didn't race last week because you had late models. So
Then we've been playing with the late model.
Yeah, doing late model things with your late model friends.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. So in Ada, huge field. Like we've been getting the NLRA series in our area has
28, 27 cars this week.
Yeah, and then you went to Fergus the next night, and it was 33 or something like that. And they had some guys from the Challenge Series. Now it's kind of like this rivalry, like NLRA versus Challenge Series, which is really cool. But there is a lot of late models out there. I mean, which is good. Things get a little. It
could be a downside as well.
You get a lot of cars and some guys who aren't there yet, and because you have pretty big skill gaps, from your top 5 versus the bottom 5, and I can say that because you're probably
I'm one of them.
You're one of the bottom 5, right?
Yep.
You're hopefully you're not causing any issues or getting people's way, but there is a little disparity in there, and there's some guys that need laps, and some guys are intrigued by the payouts and other things, but the sport is pretty healthy as far as car counts and all that. As healthy as it's been in years, because that class was down to 12 cars a night at one point.
And some of the stuff something that has helped that class is like what NLRA has done for the start money side of it.
Yeah.
Where it does pay more to start than it is to win a lot of these other classes or races or whatever.
Yep.
So it is intriguing to get them. And and this is one thing that is our problem, eventually, I would like to sell the stock car stuff and just kind of play around with the late model.
Yep.
I would never get serious with it because I don't have the time to.
Yep.
But if I could race it a dozen times, I'd be pretty happy. But one thing that is kind of, and this is just my opinion, take it as far as you can throw it. But one thing that's gonna be maybe a little bit of a downfall of that is that you have cars nowadays that are so good. Mm-hmm. And they don't take much to drive all the time. And there's times where you're going to struggle. But you're going to have some of that experience gap.
Yep.
Where you have people that have raced good late models for years. And then you got other people, I'm one of them, where you're going to go from a stock car or a B-mod or whatever and get in a late model. And the car is good where it's going to be fast.
Yep.
But you don't have the experience there maybe handle it. And
Yeah.
that's what some of our shows, our 2 late model shows in Ada have been. Like, I mean, it's been some of the experience side, you know, some of the racing over your head a little bit, you know. And like I said, I'm included in this list.
And sometimes it's just hard to, like, when you have a 24 car field, like, to get those starts are just hairy. Like, you have to be patient, like, because I mean,
it's a long race.
Yeah, and I think it can be hard, especially Ada with being a more narrow track and other things, and just tighter corners. Like, coming to it and it's super slick,
and
right?
It's fast.
And it's fast and it's still slick, and like so you're coming to that corner and people kind of accordion up and everything else, and it just kind of gets a little wild, a little western kind of right away. And so guys got to bide their time a little bit and you know. Try to avoid the wrecks, and sometimes it just happens. We're seeing the B mods too, and we're getting full fields of B mods in Ada now.
Yes,
which we struggled to get 8 in the last
a year ago,
which I think is the quick change rule. Is that a new thing? Or?
I think that's helped a lot. So that was a new rule last year.
Okay,
it's kind of when they allowed it. I think it was last year. Maybe it was 2 years. Maybe they've had them for 2. But anyway, I mean, it's a pretty newish rule.
Yep.
And then Wasoda's restructured some of their points systems.
Okay.
So now it doesn't necessarily penalize the weekly racer, but it does incentivize and gives an incentive. I went to school in Ada. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Gives an incentive for travelers.
Okay.
You know, so now it's kind of more of like a draw-redraw thing. We're like IMCA, you know, and I know I don't do it. Like, if I don't go race somewhere early in the year, like, you know, like how we did Mandan last year, where you race 2 weeks there. Okay, now you have a point average.
Yeah.
So now the next time you go there, you're not just going to get put in the back because you're new there.
Yep.
Where, you know, that is one cool thing that Wasoda does is kind of the draw thing where, okay, now, like, I'm going to go, you know, my home track's off, but Ada, Grand Forks, and Devil's Lake or whatever, you know, I can go race Thursday, Friday, Saturday there.
Yep.
You know, and I can drive 3 hours and I can draw and still have an equal shot of winning it as the same guy that's raced there weekly.
Yep.
Where kind of the structure of the IMCA deal is definitely geared towards the weekly racer, where it rewards you for racing a track, you know, like being loyal to a track.
And you know where you're going to start probably every week.
Yes.
You know, there's no, like, you know exactly where you're at points, so you know where you're going to start, and that's just the way it is. Yep.
Yeah, and it's based off of like a point average. So it doesn't necessarily matter where you are in points, like at the track. It goes off of like your last like 3 or 4 shows. Okay. So if you have like a 5th place finish or whatever, obviously your point average then comes down. Okay. So then that moves you up in the lineup. So that's where, like, you know, and now people are going to do it. But like if you have a DNF, it hurts your point average, right? Yeah. Well, like you'll see it all the time where like someone that should be at the front, if they're having an off night, they just pull off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know,
now they're going to start up next
I lost
week.
Brakes or whatever. No, they didn't. Yeah. They're just playing the point average. I've done it. Yeah. Like I've done it. Yeah. You know, so then now next week, now you got a front row or a second row or whatever starting spot. Yeah. You know, all you got to do is make it. You just got to be 4th in the heat race to make the invert.
All you want to do is win. You don't care about necessarily points.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So there's definitely a little bit of a game to play with that. Okay. You know.
But back to the late model.
Yeah.
You had a good showing. You had an okay showing in Ada. Like you finished.
We made the show.
Top 15, right?
My goal for the night was, and it has been every night with the late model, because I need seat time with that thing. It is a completely different animal than a stock car. So my goal for that night was to make the show out of the heat race. I did not want to run a B main. Yep. Make the show out of the heat race, finish the race. Yep. And we did it.
Check mark, check mark.
Yep. So we did it. We were in one piece. We didn't tear nothing up. You know, we definitely, and we learned so much because of it. I mean, we learned that we have an issue with our car. Like there is something not happy. Some of it, yes, 100% driver related. I will own that. Absolutely. But it's not all. Yeah. So there is something that is not happy somewhere.
And so the next night, again, decent finish in Ada, respectable, or, you know, just okay with it. And then the next night we go to Fergus, and really we got our butts kicked.
We were humbled.
Like it was, that's the name of the Pit Basset track, humbled at I-94. I mean, got our butts kicked, and right from the get go, that thing handled like dog crap.
It was awful.
It was
not enjoyable to drive. And
no, it was not enjoyable to watch.
No,
no. Even me watching like that, oof.
Yeah, I mean, our car right now, it drag races better than John Force. I mean, that thing launches.
So that was very noticeable, like down the straights. I mean, you had power.
It's good. Like we have our Corky Thomas power, man. That thing rips. Now we just gotta bring we gotta put it all together, right? So we have good piece now. I mean, we have good equipment. We have a good engine. You know, we're right up there with power. That like now we're kind of equal with them. Now we just need to kind of bring it all together.
And so that night we were at a disadvantage. I didn't realize you'd never raced Fergus before.
Never.
Yep. And that track was 100. As I told you, when you're getting in the car, everything you know about A to throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Because they're both 3/8 mile. That's where
they're not the same.
That's where that similarity ends.
Yeah.
Different dirt, not smooth. You know, more rough, more traction. And, you know, they had some rain and stuff. And it's not saying the track was bad. It's just, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you go out in your B main, though, like, you're starting, like, 4th row. And you make your way up to, like, 4th. Now, you had a few guys spin otherwise, but your car, the first handful of laps.
Yeah. Still passed cars. Like, still drove up there.
Yeah, like, it was moving forward and it was good. And then it all went away.
Yeah.
Like.
So, and some of that, I'm convinced that we have a bind somewhere. I've yet to find it. Something is not happy in the car. Like something is bent, worn out, something. It's going to be something dumb. I've yet to find it.
And you weren't the only guy experiencing that then. I heard from like Dustin Strand in his heat race, kind of something similar. Like started good and then just started pushing. Yep.
And I think, so here's my theory on it, and it might be stupid. It might be dumb. So our right front smash numbers, which is how you set up a late model.
Okay.
So you go off smash numbers. All of our numbers were much higher than where they should have been.
Okay.
Like way higher. So I think that we were overworking the shock, and I think it just got too hot and just because, I mean, you know, it's just like engine oil. Shock oil is the same. You know, once you get it hot, and they get hot, especially like those late model shocks, they have a ton of like rebound in them, and like you can tell it on a dyno. I mean, if you dyno it back to back, and they're only, you know, probably 20-second tests, you cannot touch that shock. It is so hot.
Huh.
So I think that we burned up the fluid or whatever. You know, the fluid got too hot and it was just overworked and just faded on us, or something happened. It was something dumb, but it was like we were good. And then like a caution came out or something, and we couldn't get to the back fast enough. I mean, it was scary.
So how do you fix that then? Is it a different shock? Is it finding the thing that is causing the shock to get hot?
Yep.
Or what's the...
It's kind of a little bit of all of everything. So the oil, I mean, your oil gets worn out. That's why like rebuilding shocks, taking care of them. If they're cold, you're cold.
Yep.
Or if you're cold, they're cold.
Yep.
That's what it is. A little throwback there. But just like the maintenance, taking care of them, you know, getting them refreshed, getting fresh oil, fresh shims in them. That's really important. And then checking the gas.
Okay.
You know, it could, you know, and shocks lose gas. It evaporates or whatever happens. So they'll lose gas pressure. So if you lose gas pressure, your shock fades, because then now your oil starts cavitating. And now you don't have a hydraulic oil in there. You have a bunch of foam.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can't control foam.
Yeah.
You can control liquid. You can't control foam. So I think it was just a culmination of all of that. And it's really interesting, like especially once you really start getting into how shocks work, and you know all they're doing is bleeding fluid. That's all that it is. So once you understand how certain shocks bleed fluid, you know, some of them it's a little hole. Well, any edge that fluid has to go over, that's creating heat. Mm-hmm. So that's where like your jetted shafts, your bleed shims, stuff like that, there's less edges that it has to go over. It's not going to build as much heat. It's going to be more controllable, you know, that type of deal. But so I think something goofy like that is our issue with the late model.
Gotcha. Well, get that shock figured out and whatever else, and hopefully we'll get that late model back out soon.
Yeah.
You left that. I stayed. You left early from the races that night. I stayed and watched, and actually it was really good. Really good. Those guys are flying that night at Fergus.
Yeah.
My God, were those like modifieds? I think the modifieds are faster than late models. Ripping the high side, like that track was really fun to watch.
But there's something about like at I-94, and you can sit in the tailgating parking.
Yep.
And get the same view.
Yeah.
But like the pit view when you stand up on the top of like
It is
turn 3 there.
insane.
I mean, and those guys, like, you always think, like, oh, there's a wall, like, they're going to lift early and, like, float up to the wall and whatever. No, they drive in right on that thing.
Yep.
It is terrifying.
Watch a race from the corner.
Yeah.
Go to Fergus, watch a race from the corner. Even, like, there you could go far enough left or far enough right towards, the same with, like, Grand Forks.
Yeah.
A little bit in Ada now, too. Like, again, if you haven't done it, don't sit dead center in a racetrack.
No.
I mean, that's cool and all. But the best view is from the turns.
Yeah.
Especially when the Outlaws come to Ada here soon.
Yes.
Watch from the turns. Watch those cars twist and like everything else.
Yep.
Like you're gonna think they're not gonna stick. Like you're gonna be like, there's no way they're making that turn.
Yeah.
And they make that turn.
It's it's amazing. It's the different viewpoints, and like that Friday in Fargo when I had to sit and watch from the infield.
Yeah.
Sitting on the infield watching a race is a completely different angle. Like does Norman County Raceway still have the infield seating?
I think they do for the Outlaws.
So if you get the chance, if there's still tickets available, buy the infield tickets.
Yeah.
Like your neck might get a little sore spinning around, whatever, but that view, that angle is completely different. You've never witnessed racing.
The sound of those things ripping around you will make you dizzy almost.
You have not witnessed racing until you watch.
I watched the Outlaw sprint cars in Grand Forks one night from the infield, and especially at that track, like you get, because then they all get like going and they're all spread out.
Yeah.
And it's like being in a tornado. Like it's being in a cyclone. I mean, the noise is like bring earplugs when you do that stuff, because those Outlaw cars absolutely roar, especially from the infield, because you're getting it from all angles. Like so speaking of this, like this is our like the month of money that's coming up in sprint car races. Like in like Ada is our like week of money here coming up, or really month of money, because another month we got like the NOSA 410s and a lot of big specials coming up, starting with the craziest, weirdest thing we've ever done.
Yeah, the 6Bs.
The
Bitker B-Mod Brawl by Boxcar Brand.
Yeah. So we're pitting we've talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's the Wazota Midwest mods versus the Sport mods.
Yep.
And the formats out there, they're going to run separately in their heats and
then take the top 12.
Qualifying too?
Yep. So they're going to qualify. And then they're going to run heat races. And from that, they're going to take the fastest 12 Sport mods and the fastest 12 Midwest mods and just line them up. So they're going to have a coin toss or whatever on the front stretch.
Yep.
And whoever wins, they decide if, say a Sport mod guy wins the toss. He's going to decide if the Sport mods are lining up on the inside row or the outside row.
Yep.
And then they're going to race heads up. So they're putting the purses together.
So a lot of pressure's on that guy to pick for so
there's going to be a little bit of a team thing going on too. It's a little bit of a.
You're not just racing for yourself.
No,
you're racing for your fellow either Sport mods or Midwest mods.
Yep. A little bit of a bragging rights thing going on.
Yep. So a really sweet belt I just saw on the line. Some good money. Just cool thing that Jory Berg and yourself and Jake and all them have kind of done to put this on. We've gotten we mentioned earlier, the B-Mod class has exploded in Ada, so we're getting 20 cars a night. We're getting 14 Sport mods, and we'll probably see the same, or if not a little more.
Yep.
Probably see 16 or so, which is fine, totally good. So only 12 of them are going to make the show. So,
and watching lap times from Norman County Raceway last week, this. I don't know.
It's hard to judge because one was at the very end of the night,
and one's right away.
Right away.
Yeah, and really, they were only a couple, I don't even know if they were tenths off.
Yeah.
I mean, Sport mods, they were raced last, and they were putting down lap times pretty consistent with Midwest mods, and they had some traction.
Yeah.
So they're not as different as people think. There's nights that the Sport mod is faster than an IMCA mod. I mean, granted, depends on what track they get on. Don't get me wrong there. But there's advantages to both. I mean, it's going to be I guess the first one that I've seen, but the first true apples to apples run your rule package, heads up,
And I think it's cool because you get guys that get to race against guys they don't normally race against, right?
Yeah.
Like Matt Scow is going to run up against, if he's racing, is going to run up against Andy Wagner, and Jaden Pavlicek is going to run up against Reese Stenberg, or your name here, or Corey Stork, or like guys that have never raced against each other in roughly the same car. They're going to be racing against each other, so I think that's kind of cool too.
It's gonna bring a really cool dynamic to the races. It's gonna be cool, and hopefully it gets supported.
Yep.
If everyone just drives with their head on their shoulders, it won't be a crash
Both
fest.
classes have had their own issues.
Yep.
There's that. But again, the future you should have 12 of the best, and whatever else. So it should be good. It's only 3 classes that night in Ada. It's part of the Ada Fair.
Yep.
So you got that
Ada
fun,
Nationals,
Ada
baby.
Nationals. So you got that cool dynamic. Again, really excited to see that. Are you shaving your mustache back for that one?
I was gonna ask you.
Because here's the deal. Adam Visser Turbo.
Yeah.
He's got his mustache now.
Yeah.
And so
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, you've got a good beard going. I mean,
yeah.
I thought we were all under the expectation that there was mustaches only.
Well, see, I should have done it last week during throwback night. So we had our
That
throwback
would have
night.
completed the look there.
Yeah, because I had a pretty sick outfit. I'm being kind of conceited, but I had the throwback fit going pretty well.
You had the vintage mic to go with it.
Vintage mic, which you're talking on right now.
Yep.
I did record a little bit. I didn't know if I'm going to put it out, but I did record a little bit, talking about that mic. Though I thought about throwing it on our Pit Pass to the Track series.
That'd be interesting.
Little behind the scenes for that. So that was cool, but that would have been neat to do that. We'll see.
It'll be a game time decision.
There's been no I haven't shaved my beard since Prince died.
Oh yeah.
It's not because Prince died. It just happened the day that I shaved my beard. The last one that was the day Prince died. That was 10 years ago. So no one has seen my chin in 10 years.
That is tough.
Now I've lost a little bit of weight again,
deal.
so I'm afraid of throwing out the double chin. But that's, I don't know if people need to see that. But
I mean, this is kind of a big deal. I mean, this is the Mustache Mafia's event.
Yeah.
The Jory Berg.
If Jory Berg gets me a free T-shirt, maybe I'll do it.
Okay. I'm gonna text him.
Maybe we'll have an answer by the end of this night. But if he does it, I'll do it. I don't think I have any weddings or anything that I need to have a deal for. And I think maybe I can get the real good twirly one like he's kind of got, but we'll see. So we got that going on Thursday night of the Ada Fair. And then a big race that you're a part of putting on here is the Bison Battle. So there we're going to have stock cars and modifieds, big payout.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
Yep. So that's Friday. This coming Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to flip this episode. It might, hopefully is on tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So this goes out before the events. Because I'm going to flip this episode quickly.
So Friday, this coming Friday, what would it be? The
26th?
6th?
Yep.
So Friday the 26th. So we have the Bison Battle at NCR. So that's a cool event that we kind of put on. So Riley Hatfield from Eldorado Speed Shop, him and I kind of really spearhead this whole deal. It was definitely Riley's baby before. I just kind of started stepping in to help with some stuff.
Yep.
So it's kind of an event that we put on. So it's $1,200 to win stock cars, $100 to start, and then $2,000 to win modifieds, $200 to start.
Okay.
So the format of the event is we do qualifying, and then we'll right from that it's Lucas Oil style. So right out of qualifying, straight into heat race lineups, straight up, and then so we race heat races, and then B main whatever if we have to, and then we'll go into the main event. So it's a cool event because it's completely designed with the racer in mind.
Okay.
It is 100%.
Did we get an answer back from Jory?
Okay, a little segue in the action. So Jory Berg just answered back, and he says, "What size deal?" So Mark will be there with a mustache.
Oh.
On Thursday. I think we just set that in stone.
All right. I don't know if I tell my wife this or not, or it'll be a surprise.
I think it's best.
My
to
daughter
ask
has
for
never
forgiveness.
seen me like without a beard, so
There will be screams.
I kind of want to do one of
agony.
those like reveal videos, like where like my daughter's never seen me
Yeah.
without a full beard, like so like one of those reveals, like oh my god, you look ugly, Dad. Okay.
So anyway, sorry, a little squirrel moment for
Yeah.
you. So we've got a ton of contingency prizes, sponsors that kind of come on board. So this year so far we have PEM, Willwood, All Star. We're gonna do some Schaefer's oil products, some Brad Penn oil. Frank at Corey's Car Care Center.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the headliner for the stock cars. And then we got timeout. Was not prepared to go for this one.
That's okay.
We're gonna get there.
Gotta look up the spec. There's a lot of things going on here. Okay.
So then we got Easy Open Garage Door and Bit Crank presenting the modifieds, and then kind of with this deal is all the contingency prizes. Riley and I put together some like cash stuff.
Yep.
And we're gonna do some cash prizes for like the legends too.
Okay.
Even though that they're a support class.
Yeah.
We want to make them feel
Welcome.
Yeah. Yep.
Like they're part of the show.
They are part of the event. Yep. So, and then we got Wes's Truck Repair. He's sponsoring the Long Tow Award, the Quick Time Award, the Hard Charger Awards. Yeah. I mean, all that. I mean, it takes a whole village, you know, and especially with all the contingency stuff. And, yeah, Easy Open Garage Door and Corey's Car Care Center. They've been huge supporters of this event every year that it's happened. So, just a really cool deal. It's just old school grassroots, no BS racing.
Yep.
You know, we basically Riley and I walk around with $100 cash in our pockets, and whoever wants to bitch about the racetrack, we just give them their money back and go home.
Yep.
So if they want to complain about the event or format or whatever, it's just no crybabies allowed.
Yep.
Right. So
Just racing.
just a fun heads up night. It should be exciting. It'll be a different format for the fans, you know. So it'll be a cool event, and I think having it at the ADA Nationals this year will be, you know, during the Norman County Fair will be a special event. I think so. That'll be. I'm really looking forward to that one.
All right. And so then after that, not long after, the World of Outlaw late models are coming to town.
So Tuesday the 30th.
Tuesday the 30th. We got a 20,000 to win late model show, which is huge. We got Davenport coming. We got you know, big. You know, continue to see some strong locals. That's going to be awesome. I'm going to be camping there. So, hey, find my blue ice castle after the race and let's have a beer.
Who cares if it's a Tuesday night? Let's make this thing a
Yeah,
party.
I'm camping there. And I think it's kind of cool. They're going to be there. A lot of late models guys are going to be there the night before. So, hoping to get a chance to kind of meet some of those guys as we're kind of setting things up. And maybe we'll have podcasts with one of them.
Hopefully.
I think was kind of in the works.
Yep.
So, that will be awesome if that works. But then the stock car race for that one is $2,000 to win.
Yep. So that one's presented by
200 to
Victory
start,
Diesel.
yeah.
So Aaron Olson and Victory Diesel, they put up some money to kind of make that more of a special on the stock car side too.
Yeah.
So I mean, you go from 1,200 to win to 2,000 to win, and just a really cool deal that Aaron put together there. You know, he was kind of, you know, he was honest last year about it, and it just kind of fell through the cracks, and it was cool that he kind of stuck with it and wanted to do it. And he's a great supporter for local racing, and just a great person to kind of have around the racetrack. And you know, he's certainly helped me out. I mean, we bought his old car, and he helped me get my start and all that. So just a great guy, fun to race with. So hopefully we can kind of pull some cars from around the area. You know, hopefully we can get some of the Redwood Falls guys and some of the Mandan guys, and
no one else is racing on a Tuesday.
No,
and you get to the cool part about doing as a support class for the Outlaw Show is you get the audience.
Yes.
Not only do you get to race in front of 3,000 people, like a packed house in NCR, which is cool in itself.
Yeah.
But you'll have a huge audience online because kind of what like Flo's done with their midweek series, they get huge audiences because they're not at the racetrack. They're watching racing. So you'll get a huge audience online. No pressure, Kalvin.
Yeah, and we've always sucked at that show. So a couple years ago, we led most of it and then let one go down our leg. But so we're gonna try. We're gonna really put it together here. But just a cool. It's gonna be a cool couple of weeks for local racing, And I hope people come out and support it all, because it's cool to have different events like this. And events like this don't happen if cars don't show up and support it. So
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited. So again, after the race, come find me. We'll be around.
Yeah.
Okay, what else did we want to talk over? The one other thing I think we'll end up, speaking of local tracks and whatever, we've had some ownership changes with a couple different tracks. James Trantina is just buying up everything.
Yeah.
Like, I need to find something to sell so James Trantina can buy it, I guess. Like, I think I got an old go-kart track made out of dirt. James, you want to buy that? No.
No low balls. I know what I got.
Yeah. Exactly. But obviously he's putting some effort into sport and local racing. I did suck. He's switching some of the IMCA stuff out east. That wasn't maybe working super well anyways. Over to Wazota, which it sucks more so for you, or not that you ran over there often, but they're trying to get that stuff going over there. But I mean, they wanted more uniformity, and I get that. So that's fine. But what I really like what he has been doing. So he runs Granite City was his first track, now North Central and I-94.
Yep.
Is the tech updates afterwards. So, after the race, you end up in the top 5, you tech. Sometimes it's, I don't know what.
Checking rev limiters or ride heights or deck heights or whatever, But
whatever they're teching for that night, they're posting it on their Facebook page. Here's what we teched in what class, any violators.
Yep.
If not, or then they say no violators or whatever, which is neat. It's some transparency.
Yep.
One, because you don't want your name mentioned. Like that's the one thing, I'm sure everyone's failed tech at some point, right? Or been borderline, could be a simple read the rule book wrong, didn't think about it, whatever. Stuff happens. Not everyone's trying to cheat. Some people just make a mistake. But no one wants their name on the disqualification list because they failed tech. And it'll tell you exactly why they failed tech.
Yep.
Because they checked rev limiters and this and that. And, well, if you didn't pass, then we kind of know you were cheating on something, right? So it's kind of neat to see some transparency
there. For the fans, and it maybe kind of kicks the racer in the butt to, maybe we better be triple and double and quadruple and whatever checking that our stuff's right. And I think it is a good thing. I think it's a good I don't know, good reality check maybe for some racers. But
yeah, absolutely. It keeps them honest. And also I think, there's always people out there, oh, that car, he's cheating.
Yeah.
He's cheating. Well, if he's in the top 5 every night in the tech shed, if he ain't gotten caught, for these different things. And they kind of keep it different. Now, I don't know. I don't have much experience with how things go in the tech aisle. Or the tech shed or tech lane or whatever. Are they, your experience, are they checking different things where you race every time? Is it kind of the same things? So what is your experience usually in the tech line?
Our tech guys do a good job of checking something different, and just because you're in tech doesn't mean that it's we're gonna rip the cylinder heads off and we're tearing or you pull your gears out or whatever. It's not. It doesn't have to be anything big like that. They're looking for obvious stuff. They're making sure that your safety equipment is in line.
Yep.
That's a big one. And I think it does get overlooked a lot, but they're double checking that. They're double checking that, you have the right carburetor on, that you don't have a cheated up carb, that, it's not all hogged out. I've been pumped. So they'll pump the engine. So we have a cubic inch limit. Yep. And then we have a compression rule limit. Yep. So they'll double check all that stuff, make sure that you don't have too big of an engine or something like that, or they're checking fuel to make sure that people don't have illegal stuff in their fuel. Yep. It can be super basic, but they change it up enough where, you can't time out okay, well, they haven't checked rev limiters in 3 weeks. They're probably going to check that. Yeah. It's going to be just, small stuff, but it's consistent, and I think that's as a tech guy, you shouldn't be there just to throw everyone out because you're going to just scare people away from racing. Yeah. But you need to be there to make sure that everyone is being honest and just keeping everyone honest, and changing it up. So I think our tech guys around here do a good job.
There was that one time last year when Jake sent everyone to the top 5 in the sport mod. To the shed. And that was a night where if you finished 5th, you much would rather have finished 6th. Yeah. Not that no one was found illegal or anything like that, but imagine when they tear down the motor in there's a lot of little moving parts and things and pieces where you're like, I hope
Yep.
I didn't overlook something, or like
Yep.
there was like a lot of nervous people.
Oh yeah.
Like, not to mention it's a long process
Yeah.
of having your motor tore down.
Yeah.
And, I think Jake brought them all new gaskets and everything else.
Yeah, I
and,
got
like,
everything to put it back together.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I mean,
but-
that's what you should do, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's not very often you do that. Speaking of which, like Tech Air, when they did the pre-tech at the was it the Dream or the World at Eldora earlier this year? I don't know if you watched that. Like, so like how every car had to go through tech, but like how the fronts of those late models, like it.
Oh yeah, and they
like-
were using templates and all that.
Yeah, they could be like, I didn't realize this, but those noses could be like within like 5 inches one way or the other, right? Or something like that. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know, like the center of the car
Yep.
could be 5 inches. I think it was up to 5 inches
Sure.
over. Like,
So they're just checking like skew basically.
skew, yeah. Like, which
yeah.
is crazy that like how far over they were. Like,
Yeah.
and it's if they were more, like how they had to thrash to get it back.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that, but
Yeah.
that was pretty cool to see.
I mean,
A
it
lot of
takes
guys
me-
scrambling, like
Oh, yeah.
like guys like I think Carson Hocevar failed, like not a guy that's really trying to cheat, but
Yeah.
just didn't know how to cheat it,
Yeah.
or, But that was kind of neat, I thought.
Yeah, the pre-tech thing is cool, and it saves a lot of like headache and frustration, as the races get going. Like at the the Wissota 100, like you have to get pre-checked,
Yep.
and they're checking. Usually, it's just basic stuff. It's safety. It's check your helmet, check your seatbelts, make sure those are dated, make sure
Ride heights, things like
Yep,
deck
height.
heights,
Like make sure that you have the drive shaft loop is in the right spot.
Yep.
Fuel cell strapping. I mean, it's safety stuff like that, and that's what needs to happen.
Yep.
That's what pre-tech should be. But yeah, I mean, I think all that's good. I think pre-tech is a good thing. Just pick a class a night. Just all right. Legends, it's your night. Show up early.
Yep.
Get
Yep.
here early.
Which would be tough in Ada, where people show up at like 6:00.
Yeah.
6:30.
That does
like,
throw a guy off.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting how like if you're there at 5:30, like is anybody gonna show up? Like, but it's Thursday, so everyone's at work,
Yeah.
and then so they show up. But you can now because you just register online.
Yep.
Show up and unload and go race. Like
Yep.
it's so crazy now how things like there's no longer waiting in line at the
Draw
registration
shack, yeah.
shack or whatever else. It's everything's good to go. You know your draw. If you draw like right away when you register, like.
Yeah.
So-
And that, I don't know if that's helped racing either. I think that's maybe lost some of the personal touch of it. I think that's some of it. I don't know. I'm not convinced that it's a fair draw.
Yeah.
I will say that. I'm not
We
convinced
still got to
that.
bring back the matchbook draw.
Yep. 100% poker chips, whatever,
chips or whatever.
something.
Yeah. Especially in front of it, like you
Yep.
do it all at the same time together. Like
Yep.
that's kind of
There's segue back to the Bison Battle. That's another cool thing is that we do like an actual draw, like out of a bucket.
Okay.
So, that's kind of been our one thing. Like we want like an old school, like
Yep.
no BS, straight up night of racing. So
Love it.
should be a fun week.
Awesome. Anything else you want to touch on today?
I think that's it.
I didn't know how long this episode would be when we first started.
We're
but
good. When we
this
get
was-
together, man.
Yeah,
like
we
it's,
just get rambling. There are certain topics you want. Again, I hope to also bring on some more guests and things like that in the future. Going back to the pit pass at the track, I haven't told you this, I don't think. I'm going to abandon you a couple nights. And I want to go follow some other racers too.
Yeah.
Like just maybe go up to River Cities. I think I talked with Jason Strand. We're going to go follow them around one
Yeah.
night. Just to get some different perspectives. Just to add some more content, things like that. So again, it's not that I don't want to be your pit guy.
No, I mean, just really, if you're going to do this, I mean, it's got to be, covert. No one can know that you're really just doing this to help me out.
Oh yeah, get you some
Yeah.
late model
Yeah.
tips from
but,
Jason Strand.
I mean, obviously don't tell anyone that, but.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna go maybe I'll follow Dustin Strand or Tyler Peterson around.
Yeah. Really make sure you get under their car. Like, really get in there.
Yeah.
Like, really, really get in there.
Now I'm gonna find a car that finishes 20th most nights and then give you their secrets and see if it helps you at all.
Get us up to 20th.
Okay. Well, maybe I could do that. But it'll be interesting to see how other drivers, since I followed you around a bunch now, how other drivers go about their day and their setup, and maybe I'll help them pit a little bit too if they need a guy to screw in a tire or something, bolt up a tire. Not screw in.
You're
bolt
capable.
Up. Which I love the late model way better. Other than sometimes it's hard to get them in those wheel
Yeah.
wells. but those tires are so much lighter.
Yep.
Despite how big those tires are, they're half the weight.
It's crazy. If you pick up an IMCA tire and a Wasota tire just by itself, the tire's heavier.
Really?
But then you get it on that aluminum rim and then blow it up with all that air, it gets lighter. I don't know why, or maybe it's just deceiving.
Yep.
But late models are badass, man.
Yep. Well, let's hopefully do more of that here in the future and get some better results. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But anytime you need a pit guy, I'll be there for you. All right. Good to have you. Good to be back here with the Pit Pass podcast. Again, we'll have some more stuff here dropping here hopefully soon. Again, hopefully this comes out. This should come out before all the fair race, ADA Nationals. Come on up. Come see us. Come find us. Come to ADA if you haven't been there. Or Fargo, whatever.
Yeah, come get some good fair food. We got Top Hog sandwiches. That's a staple at Norman County Fair.
Yep.
Yeah, check out some of the NCR's new food that they've been adding. They've really turned up the wick this year, so it's been a fun year.
We'll have to talk more about that, because it is crazy to see how much Jake and Charnel and the whole crew has thrown all their eggs into one basket and it's taken that racetrack to a whole different level.
Yeah, and really double down on it. I mean, if you haven't been up here in a couple of years, you need to come check it out. They've done so much work, and it's everyone. It's Jake, Nick, the Visser grading crew, all of them at the racetrack. It's the whole Bitker Farms crew, like Kevin, Kevin, Carter, Caden, Greg, TJ, all them guys. They've put so much work in behind the scenes at the racetracks, and they have for years, and it's really they're kind of, a lot of the backbone of why our racetracks are where they are.
And we got, people helping with social media and marketing now and other
PR
and all these different things. And it's made my life more complicated as an announcer.
I believe that. Yeah.
It took a little bit used to, where it was I was that guy. I just kind of had to do some of that. Now it's I'm getting all this stuff thrown at me. I got to step up my game.
Yeah. And it's kind of, and it doubles back to that Trantina deal. It's good that we have people like Jake and Charnel and the whole crew here, the Bitker Farms crew, everyone that they're willing to put in the work and the money and the time and all that to invest in our community. I mean, Ada is a small town. It's a freckle on the map, man. But it's cool to see them, invest the time and the community to come together to do big specials like the King of the Wings, the Bison Battle, the Outlaw Show. I mean, all that. It's so cool to see that, and I hope that people take a step back and realize how much work and how expensive it is to do it and to support it, and how how kind of big of a deal it is to have a national touring series come through our little town. I mean, this is a big deal.
It's a very big deal. All right, well, we'll end on that note. Calvin, thanks for taking time. I know you've been busy. I've been busy. It's good to get another podcast out, and hopefully have more shortly.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Pit Pass!